The invitation was a joke, a cruel amusement concocted by old money and casual racism, a lavish gala, a sea of designer gowns and champagne flutes, where a cleaning lady from the wrong side of the tracks was supposed to be the punchline. But they didn't know her. They didn't know the fire that burned beneath the calm, the elegance forged in the crucible of adversity. When she arrived, a vision of unexpected glamour, the laughter died in their throats, replaced by a stark, unsettling realization. They had underestimated the most powerful force in the room. It was a crumpled, slightly smudged piece of expensive stationery discovered amongst the week's bills. Sarah, a black cleaning lady who worked tirelessly to provide for her 2 children, had received a special call from Mr. Sterling. What started as a normal Friday cleaning job had taken a turn. The note, handwritten in elegant script, was a formal invitation to Sterling's charity gala. The invitation was addressed to Sarah with a request for her presence. She assumed it was a mistake. Sarah, an honest woman of integrity, initially dismissed the invitation as some kind of error. Mr. Sterling, the millionaire, was known around town for his generosity. He always seemed to give. However, she reasoned, these galas were not events that should receive an invitation to her, and it was an expensive gala with a charity theme. This could not be. Surely it wasn't for her, and it definitely felt that Mr. Sterling would not want her to come. She was just the cleaning woman, a very hard-working woman, but not the guest to a party like this. She considered calling, but the idea made her deeply uncomfortable. There had always been a formality when they would speak. They had to maintain a relationship. She had to keep the peace. But as the days passed, a nagging curiosity, a quiet, persistent voice in her head, started to get to her. Sarah could never bring herself to think of doing it. She always felt like she had to continue to please the boss. Always. The situation was hard for some reason. It reminded her of so many situations that came from her roots, her background. It was something that she always had to confront. Everything had always been a challenge for her. And here it was again. Her friends, her other black women, all of the people who she would work with, would say that she was very humble. Those also were the values and traits that she always tried to live by. It made her start to think differently. Sarah started to think maybe, just maybe, he was actually being genuine. And then, with a new perspective, Sarah had a change of heart. Why not? Despite all of her challenges, she deserved an evening to herself. She had worked non-stop her entire life. She has also worked hard to make sure some of her goals were able to be met. As she looked forward to the next paycheck, she decided to change her mind. The children, all those who were close to her, all thought that she should go. A black woman going to this gala? Why not? She deserves it. And with a newfound resolve, Sarah decided to attend. She was going to make sure that this turned out to be something new and different. It had to. After a week, Sarah started the search for the most suitable dress, an appropriate designer, and the best accessories. She also got her children what they needed. She wanted to be ready. When she finally went to the shop of designers, it was her way to stand in the room. And Sarah, in her very life, was never. She was ready to see what would happen. She also realized that this was not just an invitation. She did not realize how much more it was. It was the beginning of something bigger. In the process, she was able to make it all about helping others. It took work. It took a team. It took money. For the first time, she felt empowered and free. Now she was going to see the look on everyone's faces. Then the world. The night of the gala arrived, and Sarah, for the first time in a long time, felt a thrill of anticipation. As she prepared, she had to change something that she found. Her life. She wanted a new persona. This was not the same woman, nor was her environment the same. Her friend, a seamstress from her neighborhood, had created a stunning gown for her, a flowing emerald creation that seemed to shimmer and move with every breath. It made her feel as if she was the royalty she was meant to be. Her hair, styled by another neighborhood friend, was elegantly swept up, framing her face, highlighting her cheekbones. The jewelry was simple, yet elegant and understated. It was going to make a difference. She wasn't just going to walk into this gala, she was going to represent herself. This was something she had worked on for a long time. It was the new her. The car that she rented as her driver pulled up to the extravagant mansion. It was the best car for all of the situations and made her feel happy. Sarah knew this was not her world. The opulent surroundings, the manicured lawns, the flashing lights. She was going to walk straight into it. The music, the lights, the people, the air, all of it had become new. As she emerged from the car and started walking toward the entrance, it was clear that there was a hush to the crowd. At once, everyone seemed to get very quiet. And even better, it was not her. These were also not her people. She was going to make all of the people she knew proud. Sarah felt a surge of confidence, a quiet dignity. As she walked in, she knew it was going to be great. The contrast was perfect. She had arrived. Inside, the grand ballroom of the mansion was alive with activity, the air thick with the scent of perfume and expensive drinks. Well, it must have also been the scent of the people's fear. The invitation, she was informed by someone, that it was meant as a joke. It had to be, because this didn't seem very clear. The rich men, the snobbish woman, and the people that she had always found troubling. She was here. She was going to play the game. She was not going to fall. The initial reaction, on seeing her, was a mixture of shock, bewilderment, and then, for sure, amusement. The murmur of laughter, like a river of sound, had begun. A joke, a mistake, a moment of complete humiliation. This was precisely what was happening. And then, she began to walk. However, as she started walking forward, her composure was something that all of them had underestimated. As Sarah began to move forward, with a captivating grace, there was a sudden shift. She was not going to become. She was going to become something more. She knew that she was strong. They were going to fall. The laughter died, replaced by a stunned silence. The eyes now shifted. The atmosphere as though from a joke to confusion, to fear. She moved. The whispers began. The whispers said so many things. The words began to have little effect on her. She moved and knew what was going to happen. Sarah, with her gaze, sought out Mr. Sterling in the crowd. Her face was now calm. Her eyes radiated the new fire, and then she walked. And it was then the show began. As Sarah's elegant form moved through the crowd, the initial shock gave way to a different emotion entirely. Something like respect. Her confidence, her grace, became a silent statement, undermining the initial intent. She was not apologizing for her presence. She was very clearly embracing it. All were now focused on her. The women, who were now used to their power of influence, would now be humbled. The men, those arrogant men, were now looking on to the scene. They did not understand. They could not process. This was wrong. There must have been a plot. Had they made some mistake? It made them angry. It made them confused. Mr. Sterling, whose face had originally betrayed a hint of amusement, was now looking surprised and intrigued. He did not know. His invitation had become a weapon. For the long time he seemed to have no idea, or perhaps he had more. She approached him. She greeted Mr. Sterling. The conversation was very curt, and yet very polite. She did not feel angry. Mr. Sterling had wanted to introduce her to the world. She had a few words to exchange. Then, in her perfect, elegant speech, she gave him the words. She thanked him and made her gratitude. She spoke of the work that she does. She also shared her passion for life. She mentioned what she was planning to do. She spoke about the programs that she was involved in. Because of what she has done her life, she was working. Mr. Sterling watched her. Now it was clear. He was now paying close attention. His expression changed. He was very interested now. He began to nod his head slowly. He understood. He was smiling. They were all wrong. They had all done the wrong thing by her. He introduced her to the group. He introduced her to every member that he had in the room. He knew that they were going to have a lot to say. He knew her. He knew all of the people there also, and he knew from their first glance they were all the wrong people. They were all going to make mistakes. They did not know. They all would be shocked. He, in response, was giving them something. He was going to fix it. He began to tell a new story. Now, he was going to give her the stage. All of the men, all of the women, the people in charge, the other millionaires. They were not going to know. What happened was going to blow their minds. Sarah's speech had nothing to do with the joke. The joke had been on them. Instead, she would speak on all of the work that needed to be done, all of the important matters. She knew. She spoke of issues, of the struggles that black women faced and the barriers she had overcome. She spoke with passion, with eloquence, and a deeply felt connection to the audience. The people in the room started to become silent as she brought them through the presentation. She had a lot to say. At the close of her speech, the stunned silence was broken by thunderous applause. Those who, like Sarah, had come from the bottom of the ladder. They would have felt something new, with the passion, the grace, and the intelligence. In that moment, the joke was over. The laughter was gone. Sarah did not need them. She had shown all those people what was needed: respect, dignity. She was now free. The look on the faces of the other guests now reflected something new. She made her point. Her time was up. She had given them what they needed to see. She was grateful for the opportunity. The party, however, was starting for Sarah. It was not going to be how she was, and it was going to be different from them. She did it on her own. And those were the new faces of her new destiny. They were ready also. And that's where it all ended. Her time, her place, her respect, and she did it all while being herself. She had all the power. She was now free. She was no longer the punchline. She was the show, and that's now the way it had to be.